here's Brody Brazil.
Of course, I realize I'm making and publishing this video at kind of an awkward time, right? The Nevada State Legislature is going to take up public funding or not for an A's ballpark in Las Vegas. And I'll be very honest, if this goes through, every other thing following it, the other steps all seem relatively procedural, and it does feel like the Oakland A's will inevitably move to Las Vegas for their new home. So it is kind of weird now that I'm bringing up a best and worst case scenario for Oakland. I mean, you can kind of figure out what the best is and what the worst, but it goes much deeper than that. And let me also just say this straight away. You know, what happens in Las Vegas across the next week kind of has nothing to do with Oakland. I mean, Las Vegas not happening, I guess, still leaves Oakland in some kind of contention, but you need a lot of things still to happen in Oakland before the conversation can actually truly go in that direction. And I guess this is maybe the best case scenario if things fall through or don't go according to what the A's are hoping for in a vote with the legislature. There's a lot of healing in Oakland that needs to happen. A lot of healing left in Oakland that would need to happen. And I'm not even talking about the people and the decision makers and lawmakers and the mayor and the city council members and the A's. I'm talking about just fans. This has been turbulent across especially the last 6+ weeks, across the last 6 months, across the last 6 years. Some fans who are committed as ever are even numb at this point. It's hard to really think about, there's renderings now. There's ultimate meetings about the inevitable future of the Oakland A's, I should say, being in Las Vegas. And so there's a lot of people who are numb. And there's a thought of, well, what would happen in 2024? Would the team still play in Oakland if they were already committed and even building a stadium in Las Vegas? Like, how would that go? The commitment, ultimately, I'll say this. If it ever got around to the two sides, Oakland and the A's coming back together, having any types of discussions, having any types of agreement, that commitment alone to move forward at Howard Terminal, it would win over a significant amount of people. There's no question about it. To know that that name across the front of the jersey, Oakland, on the road and the Kelly Greens, that means a lot to so many people. But you know what? There are some people, like I said already, who a commitment alone may not be enough. It may not take them all the way. And that's the healing part I'm talking about here. Even in a best case scenario, there's a lot of healing that would need to take place in Oakland. Even if you're a Northern California person and you have your objectives and things you'd like to see happen here, even if all of that does, to get back to the Oakland side of things, I mean, there's a lot that would still need to be squared away. And I'll say the worst case scenario is kind of like, it's like finding out that somebody close to you is not doing well health-wise. And it's uncertain whether they'll make it or not, but the diagnosis is not good. Now, Oakland fans are certainly hoping for a breakthrough, and they will not quit until every last resource has been exhausted. And I certainly understand that, fighting the good fight. But also to understand that part of eventually, potentially losing somebody or something is a grieving process. And to be able to turn a corner on it, and I don't want to say to get over it, but to be able to move on with your own life. And again, I'm making the analogy here of life and death to a baseball team relocating, and I hope that you understand this is just an analogy, and I'm trying to be sensible and thoughtful about it. But the analogy would go like this. I mean, the A's are moving. They're actually not the ones dying here. It's all of us that will die a little bit on the inside. The A's will continue to live if they go to Las Vegas. It's a little bit of us inside that dies. So I talk about a grieving process. It's not fair because you don't even get to grieve. It's not like the A's will disappear off the face of the earth. They're just going literally somewhere else. And I think that's the hardest part. That's kind of the worst case scenario for Oakland A's baseball fans, that if this team is no longer around this area, it's not like they're eliminated from the face of the earth. You'll still have to figure out how to deal with seeing them doing something somewhere else. Sorry for the negative ending on that video, but it's a best and worst case scenario for Oakland. Even in the best case right now, a lot of things need to be taken care of and squared away, and a lot of healing. Healing is the biggest best case scenario word. Grieving right now, and the lack of grieving, that's kind of the worst case scenario for Oakland baseball fans. I'll see you next time.